Welcome back to I Did This Instead of Killing Myself, stand-up comedy podcast based in Greenville, South Carolina. My name is David Bakker. It is the week of August 29th, 2022. What a beautiful day. Hope you're having a good start to your Monday. I've had a crazy couple of weeks because just travel, and I'm switching jobs right now, and I've gotten a little behind on podcast stuff. But I think we're going to slide into a groove here, and I hope you guys are doing good with the tail end of your summer. College football's coming back next week. A lot of good stuff comedy-wise. Oh, I don't know why I'm shouting this out, but I actually was really excited. There's a new podcast episode with Aaron Rodgers on Joe Rogan. I'm pretty pumped. You guys, people who watch this know I love Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why I'm promoting somebody else's episode, but that's pretty cool. So you can watch that, listen to that after you listen to this. But anyway, I think all is good in Greenville, and I'm excited about this week's guest. Really excited. So this week's episode today, Coble Panetti is our guest. I didn't know Coble that much before we sat down and talked. I've seen him at a few mics before. But I'm so glad we talked, and he said, yeah, dude, I'd like to do a podcast because I got to know Coble, and he is a really interesting, prolific guy. Coble started comedy about 5 years ago at the Coffee Underground, so Mike we all go to here. He drove here from Rock Hill, and I think he's moving to Columbia soon with his girlfriend. But he's just a really interesting guy. He's a couple things about Coble, things he likes to do. He is a golfer, poker player, painter, and comic. So he does a lot of different cool stuff. He's a super smart guy. You'll be able to tell right away. Very thoughtful guy. We spent a lot of time in this interview talking about how he was a golfer. I really like golf. I wish I was better at it, and I wish I played it more. But Coble was a competitive golfer. He started at the age of I want to say 9 or younger. And when he was a competitive golfer in high school, at one point he was number 9 in his class in the state of South Carolina. Shot a 68 before. Super good golfer. And golf is crazy because there's a lot of mental stuff with golf. There's a lot of psychology that goes into golf. And it's probably one of the hardest individual sports, if not the hardest sport to play. So I was really fascinated by that, to hear from a guy who's done it really well and also is a creative person. So we talked a lot about golf. We talked about some other stuff too, meditation, neuroplasticity, dreams and their subconscious implications. I've been having a lot of crazy dreams lately, and Coble walked through some of that. Super knowledgeable. I think we probably talked about religion too at some point in this interview, but really fascinating interview. I really encourage you to stick through the whole thing. I think you'll enjoy it. Coble's fascinating, and check him out on stage. Check out his comedy. Really good dude. So I hope you enjoy the interview. Before we do the interview though, here's what's going on this week in local comedy here in Greenville, South Carolina. So this Monday, Coffee Underground open mic hosted by No Expectations Comedy. That's at 7 p.m. Travis Thubbin, Craig Holcomb. Get there at 6:30 to sign up. On Tuesday, we have the Radio Room at 8 o'clock, hosted by either Bill Reiner, Jeff Thompson, myself, or Cassandra. That's 8 p.m. show. Get there early to sign up. Also on Tuesday, we have the Art Bar in Columbia, hosted by Patrick Fowler. That's an 8:30 show. Also on Tuesday in Asheville, we have the Auditorium open mic hosted by James Harrod. That's a 9 p.m. show. On Wednesday, we have the Disclaimer open mic at the Asheville Music Hall. That's an 8 o'clock show. Carrie Goff is a good point of contact there before you drive up. On Thursday, no Comedy Zone this week, but we have Rocky Dale Davis, a celebrity social media guy at the Comedy Zone, 8 p.m. show. Tickets available at greenvillecomedyzone.com. On Friday, we have the All Jokes Aside show. Hosted by Dante Anderson. That's at Habiba's Mediterranean restaurant at 9 o'clock. Great show. I haven't been there in a while. I need to get out there. But yeah, that show's still alive and well. And this weekend at the Comedy Zone, our celebrity comedian is Clayton English. He's here Friday through Sunday. He's got 2 shows at 6 and 9 on Friday and Saturday, and 1 show on Sunday at 7 o'clock. Tickets available at greenvillecomedyzone.com. All right, that's it for local comedy. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I hope you enjoy my interview with Coble. Here it is. Coble Panetti.
What's up, buddy?
Welcome to the show.
Good to be here, man.
Yeah. How's it going?
Not too bad. Can't complain. Got rained on a little bit, but
You, I think you made the farthest drive so far just to do the podcast.
yeah. I'm glad to be here, man. I'm gonna do comedy tonight as well, so
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I saw you last week at the lounge show with Cody Hughes and Jess Cooley. Not Jess Cooley. Why did I say Jess Cooley?
It was Cody Hughes.
It had all my favorite comics on it, and Jess is one of my favorites.
Moira.
So I mentioned Jess for no reason.
Moira and Travis.
Okay, yeah, and I know you're friends with Adam and Travis. Do you know Cody and Moira?
Yeah, Cody knows me, and I know him. But I've never hung out with him one-on-one or anything like that.
Super
but
tight.
we talk whenever he's around.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
Who's your favorite local comic?
Local
of people that we know in Greenville.
In Greenville, do you count Cody?
He's Asheville.
Okay, then Travis.
Travis?
Yeah, I like Travis. I like Adam a lot too.
Yeah.
Someone that doesn't come out as much anymore, Andy Cummings.
Andy Cummings.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious, dude.
Is he the guy that went to LA for a while?
I don't know. He runs like an ice cream shop with his wife.
Okay.
And he's the one that he does a joke about his name.
What is the joke about his name?
That Andy Cummings is I think he says
something to do with
Latin,
Cummings.
Yeah, Latin for he who also ejaculates or something.
I know
like that.
Andy Cummings,
but I'm butchering it.
But well, yeah, we don't need to burn other people's jokes. But yeah, Cummings. If your last name's Cummings, it kind of writes itself. I remember he's got a very funny. He's been coming out to Coffee Underground a lot recently.
Yeah, I messaged him earlier. He said he's coming out tonight.
He's going to go out tonight. Yeah. I love his joke about this Donald Trump impression.
Oh, I hope he does that tonight. I don't think I know that
Okay.
joke. I love the one where he talks about his ex-wife going to Dragon Con and she cheats on him. He's like, it would have been understandable if it was called Blowjob Con, but
yeah, dude, that would suck if your wife cheated on you when you went to Dragon Con.
Yeah, he describes it as a bunch of
Wait, he was at Dragon Con and when she cheated on him?
No, she went without him, I think.
Dude. And she cheated on him with some nerd at Dragon Con?
Sweaty nerd grinding on each other in cosplay outfits, I guess.
That's brutal. Is that a true story?
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's going to be pissed at me for just telling all his fucking jokes. But no, Andy's great, dude. But yeah, all three of those guys I liked immediately and have only grown to like more. I like... pretty much that lounge set the other night was some of the best comics, I think, in our area. It
was absolutely killer. I love Cody. I look up to him a lot. Travis, Adam, all those guys are definitely guys have been doing it, I think, at least 10 years.
Yeah, I think so.
And Moira, I really like her too. I hadn't seen her.
She's fucking hilarious, dude.
But yeah, she's Asheville based, and I see her at the open mics up there.
Yeah, when I lived in Clemson, I would go up to Asheville a decent amount, and Greenville, I would go up to Asheville, sometimes, and she always kills.
Yeah. So you and I don't know each other that well, but we did talk outside, and we were like, let's do a podcast.
Yeah, why
so we're
not?
doing it. So this will be kind of a fun one because I'm getting to know you more through this. But can you give me your backstory in comedy? Because you said you used to live in Clemson. But did you ever live in Greenville doing comedy?
Yeah, I did. After I graduated from Clemson, I lived in Greenville for 2 years.
Okay.
It was, pretty regular, and then pandemic hit, and that kind of shut down comedy for a little while.
Okay.
And then I ended up moving back home. I was one of those guys that had to move back home. Lost
it happens,
their job,
dude. No shame in it. Is that where your parents are in Rock Hill?
Yeah. So
okay.
But
So you graduated from Clemson and moved to Greenville, and was that when you started comedy after graduation?
I started comedy about a little over 5 years ago.
Okay.
I think it was my 20th birthday. I came out and did stand up for the first time.
Yeah.
With some friends that came and watched me.
Where at?
Coffee
Underground, dude. That is the place to do your first mic.
Yeah, it's a great room. The lighting's great. The acoustics are pretty good and everything like that. And for an open mic, it's rock solid.
Yeah, man. It's lit. So you did it while you were still a student.
Yeah.
Okay. What inspired you to do it? Did you know people that did it?
A couple of my friends had gone to Coffee. before I ever went, and just to watch, and then they were like telling me that I should do it because I was the one who watched the most stand up out of all my friends, you know.
So you're a stand up junkie.
You know, I'm sure there's people that are more so that way than me. It's kind of like saying you're a deadhead, where it's like if you want to claim it, you have to really fucking own that shit. But yeah, I've always been into stand-up.
So you don't want to be a poser stand-up fan?
I mean, I watch a decent amount of stand-up, but I wouldn't say I'm like a junkie or whatever.
Okay, gotcha. So was there a moment where you like decided to go up and do it? Like, I mean, because like a lot of people think about trying it.
Yeah, I think I just went.
Did somebody like encourage you to like specifically go up that night?
No, I went to watch like the week before, and you know, saw that it was like some people were good, some people were bad.
Yeah.
The people that were bad, it didn't suck that much, you know, like for them, you know, it wasn't like people weren't like rude to them or anything like that. It was just, you know, so like it was a pretty welcoming atmosphere.
Yeah, it took some of the fear out of it, I bet.
Yeah. So I just came back the next week and performed.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Look at you, man. So nonchalant about it. I kind of had to be like, I had to like hit rock bottom in my entire life to get up for the first time.
Oh, really?
And I had to get invited by somebody specifically and show up.
And that's not to say I don't get nervous or anything like that, because I definitely like have stage fright and shit like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I did some plays in middle school and stuff like that. We get stage fright. I played golf competitively.
Okay.
When I was a teenager, really seriously, and I would get nervous doing that. So I'm definitely prone to stage fright, but I don't know. I think I'm someone that's really laid back in general.
You seem laid back.
Yeah. And so it's kind of nice to get that, you know, adrenaline rush, you know, every now and then.
Absolutely. So since you're a golfer, so you golfed, said you were a teenager. Did you play competitively in high school?
Yeah, I was, for the state of South Carolina, I was number 9 in my class.
Dang, dude.
Yeah, I was pretty serious about it.
Do you still golf a lot?
Not so much. I don't really have any friends that play. You know, I'll play with my dad sometimes, and I have a couple friends that play, but, you know, they have girlfriends that are real serious and stuff like that, so we only get out there every so often.
Yeah.
So I can vape in here?
Yeah, you can vape in here.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, but crack it out, man. I just started. Back after quitting for a few years.
Oh, man, I hate that for you.
No, it's okay. I can quit eventually.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like these new ones aren't as bad as the old ones.
Yeah.
Is that even true, or is that just something?
It does feel like there's less water in your lungs, you know what I mean? Adam apparently can quit on a dime with smoking cigarettes because he was talking about doing a Muay Thai tournament coming up. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to quit smoking for the week before. And I was just thinking to myself, like, if I could quit, then I would. Like, you know, I wouldn't just quit for a week.
You're
like,
deep on this. You're not
I did. I definitely am someone who has like an addictive personality, I think.
Yeah.
In general, I mean, I've never been a drinker, so I haven't had that problem.
That's good.
You know,
dude.
there's not like like most drugs or things that you can get addicted to, I just don't really enjoy that much.
Right.
So I think, but the things that are addictive that I like, I get addicted
to. You go in.
I get into it. I play poker pretty seriously.
Okay.
And that's definitely addictive, but I've kind of gotten that more under control.
Dude, I like this. You're pretty prolific. You're a golfer, gambler, vapor, comedian.
Yeah. I do art on the side a little bit too.
Yeah, you did a painting. Okay, I want to talk about, well, actually, let's go back to golf because I kind of wanted to hear more about that. So you played golf competitively. What was your best score?
In tournament?
In a tournament,
68.
68, so 4 under?
Yeah.
For that tournament? Dude, Coble. Hell yeah. How did you get so, I mean, I guess the obvious answer is you just practice a shit ton, but like, did you just have a natural talent for golf? I mean, were you playing that young? Because that's, for people who don't golf, that's incredible.
My first tournament I played when I was 9.
Okay.
So I started pretty young. I would go out with my dad when I was like 7, 8. And I would say it came pretty naturally to me. I mean, people would tell me I had a good swing when I was like 11, 10. So,
did your parents have a membership anywhere where you could play all the time?
Once they realized I was like getting serious about it and like playing, I had played tournaments for like 4 years straight. We got a membership somewhere. Okay. So when I was about to turn 13, we joined the club. And so, yeah.
And were you always pretty easygoing as a kid, and on the golf course?
No,
You weren't.
definitely
Did
not.
you have any Happy Gilmore anger streaks in
Oh
you?
yeah, absolutely.
You
So
did.
like I've never been in a fight. I've never hit anyone in my life or
Right.
anything like that. Like
Right.
I don't get angry at other people, but I'll get angry at myself.
Okay.
So golf will bring that out. Like I'm not the road rage guy. I'm not the someone talks shit about me, I have to, get them back or you know what I mean? Like,
right. But you can direct hatred at yourself.
yeah,
at a bad shot
I
or
can be a perfectionist. I can be, everything like that. So golf will definitely, they say it's the only game that will make a preacher cuss. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, dude. Golf is maddening. I played golf as a kid, and I really wish golf was a spring sport. We got the vape cloud.
Yeah, it was for my high school. It was for my high school.
Yeah, make sure you keep the mic up there.
Yeah.
It was a spring sport for your high school?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a fall sport for us. So I played football as well. So I kind of had to choose, but I always wished I could have played golf competitively. And I think that might have made me a little bit better. Right now, I'm just like a bogey golfer. If I shoot under a 90, I'm actually pretty happy with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just like, you can hang. I'm not taking too long on the course.
Most people that play golf suck at it, and that's all right.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard as shit. I mean, I think I have a knack for picking hobbies that are very difficult that most people suck at.
Like stand-up?
Stand-up, poker, golf,
Mm-hmm.
art.
Yeah.
I mean, all those things are very difficult. I think, I don't know, maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment or something. But,
Yeah. Or you just, something about your brain is wired to tackle complex, hard to master skills.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those things are very multifactorial in nature where, you have to be good at a lot of different subsets of skills to wrap it all together to be good at the task at hand in general. For golf, coordination, balance, tempo,
Sure.
everything like that, flexibility. Stand up, you got to come up with a premise, write it into something, whether it be a story, breaking down the premise or find an avenue
and then adding laugh
execute
triggers within and then execute in the moment.
So it's it's a lot of different skills rolled into one.
Yeah, I've never compared golf to stand up, but I think there are a lot of similarities. Like, if you're the best, like you can get into an elite class of golfers that's competing at these tournaments, but once it comes to that weekend, you have to execute, and
It's very mental in nature as far as I mean, golf, like
that's
you got to figure out what your personality type is as far as like are you someone that needs to have a shit ton of confidence to feel good about yourself in order to be productive and execute, or are you someone that needs to be level-headed? Are you someone I think the same can be said with stand-up, where you need to find what your Q zone is and stay in it.
Q zone? What does that stand for?
It's so fucking stupid reference to this show. I
like,
think you should leave. Have you seen that show?
Yeah.
Yeah,
dude, I love that show.
Yeah, that's it's the one where it's like a spinal surgery commercial, and Connor O'Malley is like this music producer.
Yeah,
and he calls it the songs in your Q zone. So
he's like scamming the people to think they're going to become famous off of this.
Yeah.
Singing these songs in the mall, right?
Yeah, or something like that.
It's like, I can't miss. I'm telling you.
Just let me think for a second.
You got to relax.
Yeah, that's it.
So you got to find your Q zone as a golfer.
And as a stand-up comedian.
And as a stand-up comedian. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's kind of why I asked if you had a temper, because I had a temper when I was very young. Now when I golf, and I think maybe it's helps from being from doing stand-up, is you kind of have to have a short memory. So if you have a bad shot, you're not going to let that ruin your entire round, because you're dwelling on you have to like address the next shot. Like, okay, this is what I'm presented with.
Well, you have to have a short memory, but you also have to remember what your mistakes have been, so you don't repeat them. So it's kind of a weird balance. That's why it's nice to have a caddy, so they can kind of like help you plan, so you don't have to think too hard. You can just focus on the execution.
Yeah,
they can do a lot of the thinking for you.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of trust in that,
Yeah, because I mean, a golf swing. I saw this Tiger Woods commercial. It was like a throwback, and it was like a Nike commercial. He said, "This is all you need for a good swing." He said, "Keep your arm straight, good rhythm, follow through. And then he said, and also make sure you keep your wrist angle like this. Make sure you keep the club. And then he went through all the technical aspects of a golf swing, and it was like this
That dude's
crazy,
a fucking psychopath, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
He's like,
my
and that's
God.
all it is. Then you could be like, and it was a funny commercial, but there's so much complexity to a golf swing. So sometimes you just need to boil it down to one or two things that you want to work on.
What did you think whenever all that shit came out about Tiger Woods, about the Thanksgiving dinner and the chasing of the SUV with the golf club and the smashing of the...
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've come full circle on Tiger Woods. I think when I first heard the news, I was very disappointed because he was like one of, the athletes that I loved. And I was like, nobody wants to see, domestic violence or like his family being torn apart. I really do love Tiger, though. Like his whole arc of his career, I think he was sufficiently punished in the public eye for sure. And
I think the public went a little overboard, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think a little bit had to do with him being black.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at some of the stuff, like with the Masters dinner, they like would talk about it, and it was like so. Did you watch the documentary that came out on HBO?
Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about it on there where like
I'm trying to remember the documentary.
Masters committee was like just this most like condescending fucking like thing about just like he's brought shame to the golfing world and just a bunch of shit where it's just like, dude, come on. Like,
yeah,
I mean, considering what his dad was like,
yeah,
he turned out pretty good.
I think so. I think so. I mean, the thing I think about with Tiger is the amount of temptation that he was probably faced with. And if you're the type of person that was like engineered to be a golf robot your entire life, you're not doing anything else probably. I mean, he didn't have, I think in the documentary there's that he didn't have like a lot of romantic relationships, or they would fall apart at the expense of golf. He finally had one once he was in
college, and then his parents made him break up with her because
it conflicted with golf.
Yeah.
In college, yeah. So highly dysfunctional upbringing. So then,
and his dad was cheating on his mom like all the fucking time. His mom.
Yeah. Yep. So then he becomes famous, and now all of a sudden, the fruits of his fame are presenting him with all this temptation and women. Obviously, he's married, so he shouldn't have. Like,
he'd be hanging out with like Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan. They're getting wild and going to clubs and shit like that.
Yeah, dude.
But have you seen that Greg Giraldo? You like Greg Giraldo? You know him? He used to be at the Roast or Comedy Central.
Yeah. I'm using my laptop to double check these so I can. What about Greg Giraldo?
He had a bit about Tiger Woods where he's like, I used to be this like nerdy golfer guy, and now I'm famous as shit, and all these women are throwing themselves at me, and I love you, but I also. It's just like...
I got some tail on the side.
Yeah, he talks about it for a while on one of his specials. And
yeah,
it's too bad you don't like Greg. Do you need to check out Greg Giraldo? He's really funny.
I just looked him up. I've seen him before, but I need to watch more of his stuff. I don't know a lot of it. But yeah, man, I don't know. I love Tiger's story because I love a redemption story. And I mean, Tiger didn't just have, that scandal. I mean, he had all of the injuries, his back injury, his knee, all of that stuff. And, for him to be publicly shamed and then come back and win the Masters way later in his career. I mean, do you remember watching that tournament?
Yeah, I was watching that live for sure.
Yeah.
I always watch the Masters, even still. I don't really follow golf as much as I used to, but yeah. I wasn't expecting to talk about golf that much.
Dude, no, I love talking about golf. It can go anywhere, bro. So I thought it was interesting what you said. You kind of need to know, to be a good golfer, you kind of need to know your personality type.
Yeah.
And like, can you give me some examples of like celebrity golfers that have different personality types just based on your observations? Like John Daly's different from like,
Yeah, John Daly needs his fucking cigarette. He needs his fucking brewski. He might pack a dip mid-round. He's just like real loose and his swing's real long.
Right.
And, whereas you got guys like Phil Mickelson who are super... He's a very intelligent person. He's very analytical and thinks about everything, every angle, everything like that. That's kind of how Nick Faldo was.
Right.
And then you have like Anthony Kim was the best example of someone that was just like total feel player. Just like wasn't You could just knock on his head and it would just be empty. He was an Asian American golfer, Anthony Kim.
Anthony Kim. I think I know him.
That's probably how Dustin Johnson is too.
Okay.
Where like if you talk to him about golf, you might even think that they might not even be that great, but they're some of the best players in the world.
Right. So that type of player probably wouldn't be the best golf instructor,
chill.
But they're just like very chill.
Chill and just super talented, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I had a buddy of Jordan Warlick, who's another comic. I don't know if you know Jordan, but one of his buddies is he's an assistant basketball coach, I think, but all he does with his free time is play golf. And he's gotten down to where he's like a scratch golfer. Yeah. And he's like totally obsessed with it. And what he told me was that once you get to a certain level of like, I guess just reps, like the amount of golf you're playing and your game starts improving, it gets to be where it's all feel. Like the small differences, he might disagree, where that's how he described it.
Yeah, I mean, I think
maybe
it's like I said, it's different for everybody.
It's different for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, some people are gonna, confer with their caddy, like, "Hey, how's my plane looking?
Yeah,
what angle of degrees am I pressing forward with my putter before I make my stroke?
Really, the angle on the putter is even.
Yeah, because the putter actually does have loft. You might not realize that, but it has about 3 or 4 degrees of loft. So most pros press their hands forward very slightly. So it's like 2 degrees of press forward, 3 degrees.
So it's perfectly flat when it.
So it has just the tiniest bit of loft.
Okay.
The ball actually gets off the air just a tiny little bit when you hit it with a putter.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially if you hit it far. Like if you're making a 30-foot putt.
Yeah.
The first like couple inches, it'll be airborne.
Did you
press forward?
Press forward.
Yeah, always.
Did you use Did you use a reverse grip?
No, I didn't.
You didn't?
Left hand low for right-hander.
Left hand low for right-hander?
No, that's cross-handed.
Cross-handed, yeah. I putt like that.
Some people, they say it's better for short putts, but worse for long putts.
Really?
Yeah, but if you're used to it, I think you can do whatever. But
yeah, I'm really used to it. I thought it was a cool thing that one of my buddies was doing when I was
really
like
good
in
for
6th
short
grade.
Putts,
Yeah, just to make sure you don't break the wrist or deviate from. Yeah. This is really interesting for people that aren't golfers.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's what I've been thinking.
No, it's great, dude. It's great. I mean, we have never talked about golf on the podcast. I don't think it's wasted minutes.
I remember when on Tucker's podcast, it was like similar. Y'all talking about like very specific like law stuff. And people that don't know shit about the law are gonna fucking love this. And
they might. Things that people are experts in. That's where I like to go with guests that I was like, well, I just like to go. That's
how I felt with all the crypto talk with Adam. I was like, dude, I don't fucking know shit about crypto. That
episode might as well be deleted, at least the crypto portion, because, dude, crypto freaking
tanked,
man.
Yeah, I followed enough to know that it tanked. Some poker websites I use crypto to like deposit and withdraw, but I've never been someone that's like been a crypto guy, so I don't really know shit.
I'm very much on the periphery of crypto. The only reason I bought it, and I think I might have mentioned it on those episodes, was my buddies were into it, and if they got rich off this stuff, if those idiots like got rich and I was wrong, and didn't buy anything, I'd be mad. So I bought a little bit to be able to benefit, but
my dad's a financial advisor. I told him to buy some in 2014. He wouldn't listen to me.
Dang, dude. He would have killed it then.
Yeah, it would have been
what was Bitcoin at in 2014?
Like $150.
Oh, my God. Even with the crash, I think crypto's still around 20K. Mm-hmm. Or Bitcoin is. Dude, okay. So you golfed growing up. So you're also... Well, let me ask you about this. Are you only child? Do you have siblings?
I have an older sister.
Older sister? Just the two of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gotcha.
She lives in Philly. She's a chemist.
Okay.
Yep.
What did you study in school?
Psychology.
Psychology?
Yep. I have a minor in business administration as well, but
okay. And are you working now? Are you between jobs?
I'm between jobs. I'm about to move to Columbia, move in with my girlfriend.
Okay.
So I quit my job. I was working with children that had autism.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. I quit that job about a month ago, knowing that I was going to move and just kind of figuring it out. Just kind of playing poker on the side and stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you pretty good at poker where that's a reliable stream of income for yourself?
I don't think that you can call it reliable for anyone as far as day to day, but over the course of a year, all my like websites, I'm up like between $1,000-$5,000, but that's not like enough to make a living. Like reliable enough to like be a side thing, but not to be like a professional where I'm making more than the median income of an American. You know?
Yeah, poker is a form of gambling that I actually enjoy. I've been to a casino before, and I hate most of the things.
Yeah, well, you're not playing the house; you're playing the other people.
Yeah, exactly.
So that, makes it where the house always wins. Mm-hmm. So in poker, they just take a little, like, small percentage out of the pot. Mm-hmm. But as long as you're better than the other people, you can still make money. Whereas playing slots, almost no one wins long term.
Yeah, or roulette. I hated that.
Yeah,
I was like, what? I'm just gonna hope and pray it lands on red.
I don't do any of that shit. I've sports betted a little bit. I've played poker for a while. I've let's see.
What do you love about poker?
I think kind of going back to the thing where it's just like very like there's a lot of different subsets of skills that you have to be like adequate at. It's like it's a game of hidden information rather than perfect strategy. Mm-hmm. So who you're playing influences. It's never the same every time. You know what I mean?
Right,
Whereas like if you're playing chess, the board's set up the same way every time.
Yeah.
And although there's like billions of ways a game can play out in chess, it's still set up the same way every time.
Right.
Which I just kind of find kind of boring.
Sure.
Whereas I was playing chess a little bit during the pandemic, and that was fun, but I kind of just got tired of it because it just feels kind of repetitive. Whereas poker, you play different people all the time.
Right.
And, if you only played poker with like 3 different people, and those are the only people you could ever play against, then that would kind of get boring eventually. But like, if you go play in a tournament, it's going to be random people. And trying to figure out how they play, how you can counter their strategy, everything like that.
Now, do you play in tournaments, or are you mostly online?
Well, there's tournaments online.
Okay. Yeah. But it's mostly online though? Mostly online,
but I have traveled to do it. Like, okay. I have cashed in a couple live tournaments. I would say
You've cashed it?
Cashed, like made money. Like,
you've made money. That's what. That's how you talk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, but I'd say I cashed in like 5 different tournaments, I think. And a couple of those you could view online on like the Hendon Mob is like a website that tracks poker winnings, and Global Poker Index. So I've played a couple sanctioned events and cashed, and so you can view those results online.
Yeah. Well, dude, that's cool, man. Yeah, I hate the idea of just throwing money away and gambling, but poker is the thing that is enjoyable to me. I find that are you good with pot odds and like just quickly calculating what's on the board, what could beat you and what relative to the other?
Yeah. I mean, like I was always like really good at math growing up.
Okay.
So I think that helps a good bit where like
totally.
I'd say it's more of a game of logic than it is math, but like it's built around math, but you don't have to like do calculus or trig or anything complex, but there's a lot of division.
Mm-hmm. You need to kind of quickly identify what hands can be made with the...
Yeah. Like
you play Texas Hold'em primarily, right?
Yeah, and Pot Limit Omaha High-Low is another game.
I don't know any of those. I only know Texas Hold'em. But
Texas Hold'em's the most popular.
Okay.
So can I ask you a question about stand-up?
Yeah, sure.
What is the worst joke you've ever done on stage?
The worst joke?
The joke that like it's hard to even think about because you're just like, wow, how did I think that was funny?
I mean, there's so many bad ones. So I tried to do one recently, and I think people kind of I don't even know, but this is so awful. It's awful because it's like a dark, insensitive thought. But I met a girl who's beautiful. She's beautiful, perfectly beautiful, but she had crooked teeth.
Yeah,
and I thought, like identifying girls with crooked teeth who are otherwise beautiful is kind of like being a house flipper. Like if you could only fix that one thing, like if they got good bones and the good personality, but they just need this one thing, the value, the post-market value of that is like
always good to compare women to house market values and everything like that. Nice.
Yeah, horrible. Horrible thought.
Yeah, that's not a great one.
And I thought, it's flipping because you're not gonna get the girl. If you say anything that awful, you'll never get her because you're an asshole.
Yeah.
But you're kind of setting her up for her forever home, like after, because
Yeah.
And then it kind of seems like good luck Chuck, except you're not getting laid for sure.
How many times did you perform that joke?
Oh, once.
How'd it do?
Maybe twice. It got laughs, uncomfortable ones, like the second one you did. Yeah. So it was just a horrible, dark thought that I had. Like, man, if we could only fix this one thing. It actually is kind of similar to in Seinfeld when George dates this woman who has a big nose.
Yeah.
The only thing that needed to be changed was her nose, and he couldn't. You could never bring it up. And then Kramer brings it up, and then she gets a nose job, and then they butcher the nose job, and then it just becomes this awful thing. Have you seen that episode?
No, I haven't watched Seinfeld, but it's funny you mentioned Seinfeld because I did post on the Seinfeld subreddit the other day, and you might not think this is funny, but it was a fucking Michael Richards' birthday. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Happy birthday to this legend" or whatever, and then posted the picture of him at the Laugh Factory.
Oh my gosh!
And people thought it was funny. Some people
were
think
like, "You were serious?" Like,
no, they knew I was like
said?
trolling, But like, people thought it was funny, and two people were so fucking mad that they were like certain that like I had like paid people to upvote the post.
Oh,
and it was like a weird conspiracy, and they like
so they were mad that you even brought up the thing, basically,
like,
that it was too triggering to make light of the his use of the N-word,
among other things.
Oh yeah, he said a lot.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, dude.
The fork. I've watched that. Watching that is pretty horrifying because that was like pre people getting in trouble.
Yeah.
So it was bad for then. If you watch it now, it is like, how does this guy not get murdered?
You think like, oh, it's not as bad as people are making it, and then you watch it, and it is worse. Like it is worse. So bad. Like the thing about like,
there's no context.
30 years ago, we would have had you turned upside down with a fork up your ass. Yeah, it's like, good fucking God, dude. That is so racist.
And then he said the N-word about 50 times.
80 times maybe.
Yeah. That was bad.
People were not happy I brought that up.
It was weird back then too because I wonder about Jerry Seinfeld sometimes and his real personality and like how protective he is of like the legacy of the show and stuff. Mm-hmm. He went on Letterman and had Michael Richards come on and apologize.
He says Afro-Americans.
Yeah.
And it's so cringe, dude.
And the audience like kind of laughed awkwardly and then Jerry had to tell him,
stop laughing.
Stop laughing. That's not funny. Yeah. But it's such a weird thing that Jerry did that. I mean, I guess it's good as a friend, but I also wonder if was he more concerned about the royalties of the show.
I saw people were posting saying that they were about to release the DVDs. Like that was when DVDs were coming out.
That interview was.
So they were like literally right about to release the DVD box sets or whatever the fuck for Seinfeld, and so people think he kind of mainly just went on there to settle
for his own financial interest.
Yeah. He dabbled in Scientology a little bit too. You know that, right?
Jerry did, or Kramer? Really?
Yeah, he said he dabbled a little bit. I don't know what the fuck that means. So he probably took some of the seminars or whatever.
Yeah.
Or classes or whatever.
Who knows? You know anything about Scientology?
I know a lot about Scientology.
You do?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Scientology.
Okay.
So I know what I learned from the South Park episode.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
So L. Ron Hubbard, the head of it,
evading taxes, trying to evade taxes. A friend gave him advice like, if you want to start really making some money, you need to start a religion.
Okay.
And so he did that. He
so that has the same protections as any Christian church. They have the same protections of tax.
Well, they didn't initially.
Okay.
So early on, they were being taxed. He came out with Dianetics, and that sold pretty well. And that kind of like
What was that?
Dianetics is
Dianetics.
the like kind of Bible for Scientology.
Okay.
Where it talks about, it was promoted as like an alternative to modern day psychiatric work.
Okay.
Where like you don't take medicine, but here are, pseudoscience.
Okay.
And that sold, and then he started Scientology as a religion, and then eventually, to avoid taxes, he started the Sea Org, which is just this boat where Scientologists live on.
It's a boat, a literal boat?
Yeah, it's this huge ship. And
where is it?
They dress up like sailors. I think he would port in Florida.
Okay. Is this boat still around?
Well, the Sea Org still exists, but I don't know if it's the same boat.
Okay.
But it's like the people that are super, super serious aspired to be into the Sea Org, and they kind of pretend to be sailors even though there's like nothing actually fucking going on. It's just like a weird...
Where do they go? What do they do on the boat?
Save lives, man. Nah, I'm just kidding. They think they're like saving lives and doing important shit, but they're probably just like running errands for David Miscavige, who runs the Scientology church now.
David Miscavige.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the core beliefs of Scientology that are different from like any other mainstream religion?
Well, I don't think they believe in God of any kind or any higher power, but they believe in thetans, which are basically the ghosts of aliens that were murdered by the evil Lord Xenu.
Okay.
And these thetans come into our bodies, and that's where mental illness comes from, and anxiety.
Oh, so you don't want the thetans. You want
no.
low thetan levels?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I thought in the South Park episode, Stan gets identified as testing higher.
I don't think that's actually how it works. No.
Okay. So
but they did get the backstory right on the South Park episode about the stuff like where they are flashing the script that just says this is what Scientologists actually believe. That is what they actually believe.
Yeah. It was flashing there. Yeah.
Yeah. Because someone who got pissed off at the church, who was like one of the higher ranking members, left and went to Matt and Trey and told them stuff that, because like this was all top secret.
Oh, really?
You had to get to a certain level of Scientology before they would reveal the truth. You had to pay,
So before that South Park episode, the
people
average person didn't know any of this.
No idea. Yeah, that was huge.
Wow.
That was huge. It was like some scattered throughout the internet a little bit, but that was like a really big deal whenever it was on South Park, because people didn't know.
Yeah, wasn't Chef a Scientologist, and didn't he quit the show over that episode?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, they also did the Trapped in the Closet. Oh, wait, that's the same episode.
The same episode, yeah.
Yeah, so he left the show.
Did Tom Cruise and John Travolta, did they ever respond in backlash to that episode?
Well, Tom Cruise threatened to stop promoting the Mission Impossible franchise.
Because it was Paramount, right?
Because it's Paramount.
Yeah.
If they ever showed that episode again. So that episode only aired, I think, once or twice on TV, but it's not removed from streaming platforms or anything.
Okay. So it's still available on Comedy Central. It still shows on Comedy Central. And yeah. Dude, that's so nuts. I didn't realize that blew the lid off the whole thing. I kind of thought, because that was a while ago, I kind of
really
thought people kind of knew about that stuff.
That episode's pretty early. I can't remember what season it is, but that's been like almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Scientology, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's so funny. Alien ghosts make up mental illnesses. And
weird shit, dude.
Are you religious?
No,
not
at all, dude.
Straight up.
I was raised
atheist?
Methodist. I was raised Methodist, and I started having doubts pretty early in life. I was
how early?
Yeah, doubts are like where I was like open about it.
It was about the time you stopped believing in Santa Claus, or what happened?
Pretty much.
Really?
Dude, yeah. I had doubts about Santa Claus in like kindergarten, but I was like sure he didn't exist by like third grade, and then I stopped believing in God in like fifth grade, maybe.
What? Fifth grade?
Yeah. Well, I was like a nerdy science kid, you know, and like super into evolution and shit like that.
Sure.
So I thought all that was cool as shit, and people that were really religious thought that shit was lame and they're not true, they're lies. So that kind of conflicted. And then I just like, once I understood that there were like other religions, I was like, I don't really get why we're more right than others. And it seems like, you know, and then like they would teach us about how Native Americans had, you know, religion too, and it's like, well, they were living, you know, it was all just like, how do we know we're right? So it all just kind of seems like it's bullshit.
So you just, that was enough for you to be like, pretty much, this is all there is.
Well, I didn't
I don't know.
Yeah, I was super into like astrophysics and shit like that, and I believed in the Big Bang. So yeah, I mean, that's not to say like God doesn't exist, but I don't believe in any religion.
I see.
So like, I mean, I don't think there is like some hidden force making things happen, but you know, is intelligent design possible? Yeah, for sure. But or intelligent, or like a creator or whatever, whatever that may be. Hell, you know, this whole fucking universe could just be created in a lab in a greater universe, you know. Who fucking knows? That's true. It's like fucking Men in Black. They have that little marble.
This could
like
be
a
on
whole universe, you know.
Yeah, this could be on the collar of that cat named Comet, or no, Orion. It wasn't Orion's belt, but it was on the cat. Yeah. So yeah, man, I think a lot about religion. Or just, is there anything else?
Oh, you never asked me what my worst joke was.
What is it? Ties
to religion.
Okay, what is the worst joke you've ever told?
I was like, the worst joke I can remember, and part of what made it so bad is that it was at this like restaurant where we were performing, and I was like, I wonder if the disciples ever ran a train on Mary Magdalene.
Oh my god!
And I was like, it ain't fun if the disciples can't get none. Like that rap song. It's so bad, dude. Like,
did it get a laugh?
Oh, maybe like someone laughing like
at how awful.
Holy shit, you know. Yeah. But it's just like trying to be shocking. That's kind of like the laugh.
Like,
It's fucking outrageous. Like, why would I ever say that? It's so fucking stupid.
I would laugh at that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like gonna make maybe some of the other comedians laugh because it's just like, oh wow, yeah. But not like genuinely that's a clever thing to say or anything like that, you know?
Yeah. I'm trying to I'm trying to think of other horrible jokes I have, but I guess the religion thing though, our boy Norm thought a lot about that.
Yeah,
is God real or not?
Did you watch that new special where it's just him in front of the webcam?
I did, but I only watched it once, and I actually enjoyed better listening to it in my car and not watching him, because then I could actually like pick up on the jokes a little better versus being distracted, like it being a Skype call kind of.
Did you watch where like Letterman and Chappelle and Conan and?
I did. I wasn't crazy about the commentary at the end.
I liked who's the woman that was on there?
Molly Shannon.
Yeah, she was great. Her talking about Norm was like very sweet.
What did she say again? Remind me.
Just like that, like deep down he was like really shy. And but very sweet, and just like they talked about how after Chappelle's dad died, Norm did a movie with him, and Norm was like one of the greatest influences that Chappelle ever had in his life, because it came at just, he was the right guy at the right time. And Molly was just talking about like, I know Norm, and I know that he just wanted to make you feel good in that moment because he knew how much you were hurting. And I just thought that was cool as shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, fucking love Norm. Dude.
Yeah, a guy who walked the walk of like just being a good dude seemingly his whole career. Because of that, he didn't ever skyrocket to monumental fame.
He took it really serious in all the right ways and not serious in all the right ways.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he's a legend, dude. He just wanted to make people laugh. That was his fucking mission in life, it seemed like. Yeah, Love to gamble too.
Love to gamble too. That's why. Yeah, it's not surprised. Is he your favorite comedian? If you had to
yeah, I would say I like him. I like Greg Giraldo. And then, I like other comedians that do like television shows and stuff like that. But if we're strictly talking stand up, then Greg Giraldo and Norm Macdonald are the two.
Yeah, Norm. It's rare you find him serious in anything online. You can find some serious interviews he did, but mostly he's just goofing around.
Yeah, I mean, the religion was pretty much the only thing he would get him serious. It seemed like,
Yeah, and I don't think he liked organized religion either, but he was really fascinated with the question of does God exist?
Yeah. And where do we go after we die?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that those things kind of really...
And I think
he thought about mortality a lot.
Yeah, I think it was because I read something where he actually had cancer scares much earlier, like in his 20s. And I don't think he was... I think whatever that was, he basically beat, but then it came back obviously much later.
Yeah, it's a damn shame.
Yeah, I actually tried to tell a joke about that one time, about how I thought that was like cheating, like it was like a baseball player taking steroids to have trauma your whole life and not tell anyone.
Yeah,
how I was mad that Norm had cancer because it basically made him funnier, and that was an unfair advantage. Yeah, so I basically said there's found something out about him that I didn't like. He had cancer his whole life. So that got some laughs, but I'm kidding, obviously. But, yeah. Dude, religion's a tough one, man. I feel like that's a hard question for any modern person to answer seriously. I feel like most people just don't think about it a lot.
Yeah.
And you either do what you were brought up as just because it's convenient. But the fact that we have science to contend with, I mean, a few hundred years ago before... Everybody just believed the consensus, at least in the Western.
Well, yeah. I mean, you had to think about the nature of information and everything like that. And just like how dogmatic things, especially education, was back in the day, Yeah. I mean...
But that's my understanding. Like before the scientific revolution, like there was a pretty broad consensus. If you were like in a Christian, country... Everybody basically believed, whatever the church said. Yeah. And church and science were kind of like commingled even.
Mm-hmm. Like, what's that guy's name? Mandel, who's like the guy that's like the founder of like genetics that studied like plants and the way that genes were passed on. Mm-hmm. He was in like a monastery. Yeah. Whenever he discovered that. Mm-hmm. And shit like that. Yeah. Like even like physicists up until somewhat recently, a lot of them were religious, like Einstein believed in God.
Yeah. Did he actually?
He would talk about...
I know there's those quotes where God doesn't play dice with the universe. I remember that one.
Apparently he does.
He
was wrong about that.
What do you mean by that? Because there's randomness involved.
There is randomness in the behavior of subatomic particles.
That's right, because you can know their location and their velocity.
Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
The Heisenberg uncertainty principle. You can know their location and their velocity, but not both at the same time. Yeah. Yeah. Heisenberg, Breaking Bad reference. Yep. Or Breaking Bad full reference, circle. Heisenberg.
So we haven't mentioned that.
What's that?
I said full circle, but... Not really, because we didn't talk about that earlier.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Misusing the expression.
Do you think the collapse of religion, I think the answer is yes, but has caused more problems in the world?
Well, I wouldn't say there has been a collapse. I mean, I think there's been, most Western nations, I would say, there's been a decrease or an increase in the amount of non-religious people. But it's still dominant. I mean, like, it's hard to be a politician in the United States and not be Christian, I mean,
at least in name.
Or at least Judeo-Christian. I mean, Bernie Sanders is Jewish and stuff.
Yeah. But I mean, people can say they believe, but like how people live, it seems like most people live very secular lives. Yeah. Even the people that do attend church pretty regularly. It's like kind of compartmentalized.
Yeah, I think it comes out in stressful situations where like, you're worried about something.
That's true.
And you think about God more. But like when you're just cruising around in your fucking car, you're not thinking about like
Yeah.
Oh, God is watching me run this red
Yeah.
light, you know.
Right. Yeah, and there's not a lot of people continually in prayer or like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to be mindful of that 24/7, you know.
Really hard.
That would stress you the fuck out. And some of those people are fucking scary.
Yeah.
Are really thinking about God observing them 24/7. That's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot. That is a lot. And I kind of think about the old the folks that were living in those times. You know, they didn't have all the leisure time that we have because of modern, you know.
Unless you're like the top 1% of wealth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
yeah,
most people were laboring for food and dying very young.
And they were illiterate.
They were illiterate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there wasn't a lot of free time to worry about existential problems. But now we have a lot of that freedom.
I'm not worried about it, dude.
I know you're not, but you're pretty young. How old are you?
25.
25? Yeah, I'm 33, so I'm I'm getting up there. Yeah. I don't know. I have a problem with a lot of the dogmatic aspects of religion. But you know, I was watching a video. Do you know anything about Carl Jung?
Yeah.
He's a clinical psychologist.
Yeah. He was a psychoanalyst. He studied under Freud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you know more about this. I'm careful about bringing anything up with you because I feel like if I start talking
I
about my
study
ass,
psychology,
you can keep me in check. No, you're very smart. I can tell. And I hope we don't like run out of time here soon. But
it's all right if we do, man.
Yeah, we just skip the mic. Just keep talking.
Well, I'm already down, so
I didn't. Yeah. No,
so it's more for you.
It's cool, but his a quote in one of the videos I heard was, "Are scientists so sure human beings don't have a religious instinct?" And I think what he was getting at was science can tell us how things work, how the material universe behaves, and what things are made out of, but it doesn't exactly tell a human being how they ought to conduct themselves. Outside of maybe an evolutionary biology framework, but even that, like, that doesn't tell me what career path I should pick. That doesn't tell me what is an optimal way to be. And then I think Jung actually liked the truths embedded in narratives and religious myth that help point the human being to a better way of living, whether or not they're literally true or not.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hear like what you thought about that. Jordan Peterson talks about this stuff all the time, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think most people that have a problem with Christianity have a problem with the teachings of Christ. If anything, I think they consider that the good part. You know what I mean? Where like giving to the poor and, you know, having like a very collectivist thinking about helping society and others and everything like that. Like, I think a lot of that's really good. But I don't know. I push back on people that feel like there needs to be religion in order to have ethical behavior. Like, I think that, you know, you can celebrate humanity and its beauty and everything without religion, you know. Comedy and art and music.
Yeah.
And, you know, everything. There's so many things that are like incredible, beautiful things about being a human being.
Sure.
And understanding that in order to have the free time and everything like that, in order to do those things and have those things exist, we need society.
Mm-hmm.
In order for society to work, people need to kind of behave themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of my push. I don't, you know, do good things.
But what does behave themselves kind of mean? Because what I think it means is, like, laws in the West kind of seem to be based on there's freedom provided you don't like kill somebody else or what you're doing doesn't
you shouldn't
negatively
harm other
impact.
people or
so we structure
prevent them from
to
having
protect
freedom.
The individual, sort of. And that idea, you know, is kind of not in nature automatically.
No,
it's kind of like more survival of the fittest. Just do what you can do. So like the arrangements of society seem to rely more on those protections, which are based on the idea that humans are valuable inherently.
Well,
which can be religious.
Do you believe that empathy is something that we're born with or something that has to be taught? Because dogs have empathy.
Yeah, I believe we're born with it.
Yeah. So I think some of that stuff isn't existent because of society.
Do dogs have empathy because they're around us, though?
No, but like gorillas have empathy.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not arguing for religion.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just saying that like some of this stuff, like it's a mixed bag. Some of it is.
It totally is.
Yeah. So like some of it is evolution. Decided that if you're gonna human beings lived in communities even before we knew how to read or write or communicate verbally. Neanderthals lived in communities of about 150.
Yeah.
So empathy was an evolutionary advantage to have. So I think we have that innately.
Yeah.
But
codifying it into law and setting up like societies that work.
Yeah. I mean,
generally have those protections.
Yeah. I mean,
and ones that are based on power tend to be very unstable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is interesting when I think about animals, because I don't know what it is, and maybe it's in my own head, but like since doing comedy, like you kind of have to be in tune with like what the audience is doing and feeling, and kind of be sensitive to that. Yeah. I really love animals now.
Yeah. You didn't like animals until you started doing comedy?
I loved them before, but I would just now I find myself just taking a little more time when I go to pet that dog. Dude,
well, that's good.
How you doing, buddy?
You're growing.
Like, man. Picturing the energy coming off that dog.
Neuroplasticity is real. You're in your 30s and still changing, man. That's a good thing.
Wait. Describe what you just said. This is
neuroplasticity.
You actually know this shit. So what is?
So it's just like the idea that like people for a while act like you can only change in your developmental years up until you're like 25.
Yeah,
but
I actually used to think that was like
you're
established consensus.
But now we have an understanding of what's called neuroplasticity, is that the mind has the ability to change over time, even in adulthood and everything like that, and you're not locked into who you are at 25 and then it's done. Mindfulness and things like that can allow you to rewire your brain.
Mindfulness.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Mindfulness is like, God, it's kind of hard to describe. Being actively engaged and mindful of what you're trying to accomplish or change. Mm-hmm. That's a pretty shitty definition. It's pretty shitty when your definition has the word in the definition. You know what I mean? Like, but like actively, deliberately,
maybe changing habits that could rewire
thought patterns and everything like that around it. Like a lot of like modern cognitive behavioral therapy is based around mindfulness. So like acknowledging how you're feeling and trying to change that rather than just living life in autopilot.
Okay.
So like if you get mad at something, acknowledge I'm mad. Why am I mad? Mm-hmm. And then thinking like, does it make sense to be this upset? And usually it doesn't.
Right.
And then that can kind of help you to
change that behavior. You kind of stepped out of your reactionary mode.
Yeah, get out of that cycle.
And then
doing the same shit over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's neuroplasticity. That's good. So it's an example of neuroplasticity to pet dogs more?
Well, doing stand-up having an effect on the way that you behave.
Does doing stand-up have that effect on most people, you think, based on your experience?
Like change who they are?
Or increase their awareness of who they are, or deepen that? Because you have to be more self-aware in how you're coming across to others in order to improve at all.
I think it probably just depends on the person. I don't think a lot of people I know in comedy, I met through comedy, so I didn't know what they were like before they started.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
So, it's hard for me to anecdotally have any sort of statement on that.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it changes something different for everyone. Mm-hmm. And it has to have an effect on you if you're doing it pretty often. Because
I think it can have a negative effect.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty easy to beat yourself up if you're doing it. Open mics can be pretty brutal sometimes, especially if you're doing trying to perform 5 nights a week or whatever, and go into some of the ones where the crowd might be a little more sparse, or
Yeah.
the crowd might not even know there's a comedy show that night.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say about negativity on the other side. If you get wildly successful, you can become arrogant and get like this god complex
in
of
poker. That's called winner's tilt.
Winner's tilt.
Yeah, because you get tilted. That means upset in gaming.
Yeah.
Winner's tilt is whenever you're doing really good, so you just assume you can do anything.
Yeah.
And then you might really fuck up because you're,
Yeah.
you might just start jerking off in front of women or something.
Yeah. You think that's what happened to Louis?
I don't know, man.
Dude, I mean, it's a reasonable theory, I think, because he was king of the world in 2017, and that can catch up with you.
I don't know when a lot of that behavior was happening. I think it was a little earlier.
Yeah, it was much earlier.
Yeah. I don't think that's what happened, but it was just something to say.
Yeah. Well, Tiger had a similar.
Yeah,
descent.
Tiger had some winner's tilt, dude. He was about the definition.
Just things have a way of like finding you out if you depending on how high you get. But Norm didn't have any winner's tilt. Although
he was a very grounded person.
Yeah, outside of the gambling, I guess.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, he kind of lost his mind a couple times there, I think. It's easy to do, man. He was hanging out with Artie Lang. I think Artie Lang was a little bit of an enabler, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know who was enabling who there, but Artie has openly said that they were not good for each other during that time period where they were sports betting together and shit.
So when it comes to neuroplasticity, do you know anything about like what the science says about that? I mean, I'm assuming it's a good thing if your mind is expanding, because like if you're thinking about the world differently and you're past 25, like what is actually going on in is it new neural connections? Is it
that's a question a little above my pay grade?
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I mean, meditation is a good example of an activity that can have a lot of positive effects and affect your neuroplasticity. And there has been descriptions of, taking like MRIs of people who are like very experienced in meditation, and the way that it lights up the brain is different than those that aren't experienced in meditation. And has
there been any studies on life expectancy?
I don't know, dude. Can't tell you. I mean, I think having less stress is helpful for life expectancy, and meditation helps with that. So
right.
Maybe.
Yeah. And maybe, by being more mindful of just the context of the events that happen to you makes you less stressed on a day-to-day, because you're more aware. Like, you don't sweat the small stuff as much. Anyway, I'm hoping this is true.
Are you meditating right now, dude?
No, I don't meditate. I take naps though.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, basically. Joe List has a joke about that.
Do you dream a lot when you nap?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially day naps.
You fucking dream like crazy.
Yeah, I love dreaming.
When I wake up in the morning, I might like get a snack. Like I'll wake up hungry and I go back to sleep. That's when I dream like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
When I like have already been awake and then go back to sleep, where I'm kind of like still in that like dazed state, awake, and then go back to sleep.
Yeah.
After being awake for like 20 minutes.
Do you think there's significance to your dreams?
Like in what regard?
Anything to learn from them that you could use when you wake up?
I think it's
I'm
more
not
of
saying
a
spiritually
like,
inspired or anything.
I think it's more just a reflection of like what's on your mind actively at the time, especially subconsciously, or or things that you have worries about. Whenever you're younger, you have the fucking dream where you forgot your homework or whatever,
or you're late for class. You don't know where
don't have fucking pants on or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I
like
still had
shit
those
that
dreams.
like is in the back of your mind of like things you're anxious about will appear in your dreams for sure. But,
Yeah. I had a dream recently. Do you want to try to interpret it?
Why not, dude? What was it?
So I was back in college. I wrote it down too. I was obsessed growing up with getting straight A's and like getting the approval of my parents. And I got that also through playing football. So in the dream, I was back at college, and there was football practice going on. And something happened where I think I said something to somebody in a hallway, and then I could hear the other teammates down the hallway making fun of me for it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, screw this. And I decided not to go to practice.
Mm-hmm.
And it was painful, but I actually made the choice. I felt myself make the choice of not going and like quitting and not doing the practice. And I was like, I should be out there. Part of me thinks I should, but I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And then I saw another buddy of mine specifically, and he was still going through the motion, but he's another buddy in my life that I know is kind of having a hard time with just figuring himself out and being honest with himself and stuff like that. And I saw him, and I was like, Ron, dude, you don't have to do this anymore. Like, not in a literal sense, but like, you know, you're not doing this for you. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, you seems like you're kind of enslaved to that. And that was basically it. So,
I mean, how often do you wonder, like, what if I had started doing stand-up when I was 21 instead of, you know, playing football so seriously? You played football in college, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, how often do you wonder, like, what person would I be had I never played football?
I don't regret playing football, really.
Well, not even questioning that, but just like wondering, like, what if I had done stand up instead, or what if I had?
I don't think about that too much. I do think about wishing starting stand up sooner.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think I ever would have started doing stand up sooner. I think the way my life played out, it had to have played out this way, just because that ran pretty deep. That whole like
commitment to
you know, achievement for others. And I just fucking yeah, this is self-serving. I'm asking you to like be my therapist here, but yeah. So yeah, I felt like I was consciously in the dream.
You
starting
gotta assume
to
the dream
reject.
analysis position where you lean back on the couch. Yeah. You gotta get horizontal. Where the dream analysis actually work.
Well, I also had a job interview recently where I was thinking a lot about these themes. And like, and I didn't want approval for others to be the reason I took this job. I wanted it to be something different.
Mm-hmm.
Because as long as I was in that mode, I would just be like, what do you want to hear? Like,
I don't take dream analysis very seriously. I think most psychologists have kind of left that in the past a little bit. That's more of like a psychoanalytic movement thing. Okay. Which that's like Freudian, Carl Jung.
Sure.
But that kind of started dying out a little bit into like the 40s and 50s. Like media will kind of like pretend that's still a big part of like modern psychology. Mm-hmm. Where like The Sopranos, like he'll talk about his dreams and shit like that to a psychiatrist. Uh-huh. But yeah, I don't take dreams too seriously, dude. I wouldn't let them stress you out if you have some weird shit,
out.
You know.
Didn't stress me out. I was I don't know. Like in the dream, you think you're in that place for whatever reason, because I think all of your normal boundaries of reality are kind of like suppressed, so it's not weird to you that this is obviously not real. Let me ask you this. If a husband is dreaming and in the dream he knowingly cheats on his wife, is that bad?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't.
But he knew in the dream, he thought.
Well, you can't really control your actions in a dream.
Yeah,
for the
you
most
can.
Part.
Can't you? I think you kind of can.
Nah,
well, you make decisions, right?
But you're not doing it consciously.
Okay, so maybe that guy has an unconscious desire to like. Which I think most men would.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, temptation is like a real thing, even if you're in a monogamous relationship. But like, I don't know. In my experience, when I've been in a serious relationship, if like once we've broken up, if I have sex with someone else, I really don't. It takes me a little while to get to where I enjoy having sex again with someone else. So I don't think I would. I've never cheated on anyone.
He's a good dude. Coble's never cheated.
Well, I haven't had the opportunity to because I haven't been dating that much. But I have a girlfriend right now. But
if you were Tiger Woods, maybe you'd be a little tempted. If you had Tiger success?
I don't know about that. We'll see, but I don't think I'll ever be as famous as Tiger Woods. So
You should get back into golf, bro.
Nah, I think that's part of the past.
Yeah.
As far as taking it that serious, dude, it's a grind, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. But yeah, I don't think you should feel bad about cheating on your girlfriend in a dream. That's a little ridiculous.
I mean, I've heard of it where the woman has a dream that.
Are you single right now?
Huh? Yeah.
Are you single?
Yeah.
When was your last serious relationship?
God. I mean, I've had a couple since COVID that were like a few months.
Yeah.
But really, like.
You straight?
20. Yeah, I'm straight.
You straight, man.
Yeah, I'm straight.
Just checking. I don't know. I don't assume.
No, not there's anything wrong with not being straight. No, my last relationship.
I like that threw you a little bit. You straight, man? What?
No,
yeah. But no, I mean, what's the holdup, dude? Why aren't you dating anybody?
I'm talking to my therapist about this.
Oh, really?
I literally had a conversation with my therapist about this today. Part of it. Thanks for the question too. My last serious relationship was in 20. No, what the whole? What?
I'm sorry, I can't stop fucking.
I like the chance to publicly acknowledge my heterosexuality.
Good job, dude.
My last serious relationship was pre-COVID, and it ended right in January of 2020. I've had a lot of transition.
Yeah.
To becoming gay. Just kidding.
No. Yeah.
No.
How long have you been in this job you're in right now?
Well, I just took a new job, but before that, 6 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then I've been with the company for 10. This is my 11th year.
So new job, same company.
New job, same company.
Okay, well that's cool.
Yeah.
Dude.
So
good on you, brother.
Yeah. So thanks. In 2020, I quit drinking and started doing stand-up. And I'd been so busy with, those things and figuring out how to just be honest and creative because I'd never done that before. And it's been so exciting and, I'm having a blast with it. But, when I talked to my therapist about it, it was like, I feel like I'm relearning how to date, especially seriously, as myself.
Yes. Eric Clapton talked about that in his autobiography where he had been just such an alcoholic that he didn't know how to flirt with women or have sex when he wasn't drunk.
Yeah.
And shit like that,
Yeah, I mean, I know how to flirt. I know how to all that is.
You just push.
What's that?
That's one of your jokes. Is that if you're flirting with someone, you just you push someone into them or something.
Oh, that was one thing I said on stage. Yeah. Oh yeah. To break the ice with a girl. I push my drunk friend into them.
Yeah.
And then
sorry about my friend.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm Dave. Yeah. But it's kind of even more than that. It's getting when does a relationship become a relationship? Opening up the right way. And
it's also different when you're 33, I imagine too.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I'm 25 and my girlfriend's 23, so it's a little different. But
yeah.
But yeah,
it can just be chill. I mean,
yeah.
At my age, it's inherently maybe a little bit more, seriousness implied. But
yeah, that could be weird, dude. I've been watching 90 Day Fiance recently. Have you ever seen that show?
No. What's that?
Oh, dude, it's wild, dude. You need to see this show.
What's the premise?
So basically, there's a thing called a K-1 visa, which means that if you have plans to get married, someone from a foreign country can get a visa for 90 days, and you have to get married in the 90-day period or they get deported.
Oh, shit.
And it's a reality TV show about
So it's all arranged, basically?
What do you mean? And it's not arranged marriages. There are people that met online or whatever, and they've been talking, and maybe the American has visited them in their country, but the person's never been to America.
I gotcha.
And they have 90 days to get married.
Okay.
And it just follows that. It's fucking wild, dude. I've been watching
maybe I need to sign up
with my girlfriend.
Maybe I need to get that show. There's a show called Love is Blind. Have you heard of that one?
No, it's about blind people dating?
Netflix. It was a pretty big show.
What's the premise?
There's a group of guys and girls in a house, and you have a series of dates, and there's a wall separating them so you can't see what the other person looks like. And then you propose before you see what they look like. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was almost on that show in Atlanta. That's why I brought it up. It's so stupid.
Good on you for not being on the show.
Thank you,
what
Coble.
What time is it?
Oh, it's 6:21.
Okay, word. Not too bad.
If we go, well, which we already are kind of over, but I don't mind.
I'll let you call the shots here.
I don't
Your
have
house, your
anything
place.
prepared for tonight, and since if I get bumped from the list, that'll just be me copping out of a stand-up set.
The worst thing in the world. You live within walking distance of the place, so not like you blew a night or anything. But
Yeah, I'll see if Travis still lets me go.
Are you going to Columbia tomorrow?
I hadn't planned on it. I did last week.
Word.
Why are you going?
Yeah, I'm going.
Oh hell yeah, Art Bar.
Yeah,
dude, enjoy, man. It's a very good.
What
mic.
do I need? Who do I message about that?
Almost Patrick is the handle. It's Patrick Fowler.
I know you do that in the announcements normally, so this will be a repeat. But
yeah. Yeah, I hope you didn't watch all the announcements of those episodes. There's a little thing you could click ahead.
Yeah. I think normally I was like driving and shit, so I just would just
let it play.
Let it play. I don't give a fuck.
I appreciate the views, but yeah, shit. What were we just talking about before
We're talking about Love Is Blind.
Love Is Blind. Oh yeah.
You almost appeared in Atlanta.
I wanted to know about Eric Clapton. So what else did he say about it in his autobiography? He had to relearn how to flirt, how to have sex with women.
Yeah.
I don't want to imply that's, but did he go through? Because did he get married after that?
He's been married multiple times. Yeah, and his addiction
post alcoholism.
It's hard to remember the timeline because he's been addicted to so many different things at different times in his life. He's been addicted to cocaine, heroin, alcohol,
and he's still alive, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Tom Petty died. Right? Confused.
Yeah.
So, okay. So he figured it out. Did it have any
he got pretty
nuggets
religious
in there?
He did. Well, I mean, he was rich as fuck, so he could afford the best rehab places and stuff. And
right.
It was basically vacation
right.
with the rehab, added. But I think he got pretty religious and was doing. I think spirituality really helped him a lot with his
relationships
with getting off alcohol.
Okay.
And staying off. But relationships, I don't even know if he's married now or anything like that.
Okay.
He's had some pretty big relationship struggles in his life. Like he married George Harrison's ex-wife. He basically was a homewrecker.
Jeez.
And then he was just so so addicted to whatever he was addicted to during that time that it ruined their relationship. And then he got someone pregnant and his son fell out of a window.
Yeah, it's Tears in Heaven, right?
It's Tears in Heaven. That's why he doesn't perform that anymore. It was about that. And then he got married again, I think, and was addicted to heroin. It's been...
Yeah. Wow, I didn't know that whole backstory.
Yeah, I probably got it out of order a little bit, but he's had a fucking rough life. It's amazing he's still alive, honestly.
Yeah. That was self-serving again with the question, but I think the holdup was kind of just I probably wasn't totally myself before.
Yeah,
because alcohol, on dates, that is a nice lubricant to cover having to just really get to know a person.
Yeah, and I mean,
or me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Were you a pretty confident person?
What's that?
Were you a pretty confident person growing up and stuff like that? Or did you
I had a lot of insecurities.
Yeah.
My confidence came and went in my 20s, ups and downs.
It's such a weird duality because the people that are most outwardly confident are usually very deeply insecure.
Yeah.
Deep down, you know what I mean? So
and I think even when I was a shit show drinking, I was still pretty authentic in terms of I don't have it all figured out. I am but
why do you think drinking was so appealing to you?
Oh, because I was deeply unhappy.
Oh, really?
At the job, the nature of the job was extremely stressful. And I didn't have anything like stand-up to give me creative fulfillment.
Yeah.
And I kind of did a lot of research on creativity. And if you kind of have that openness type wiring and you're not expressing yourself, you'll be miserable.
Yeah.
You don't really have a choice in that. You kind of have to find your outlet. And I didn't have that. And it was kind of I was making good money too, which was a really horrible combination because it was I could just go out and party.
At least you weren't doing a shit ton of coke or anything like that.
Well, there was a little,
but not
not to the level of you hear Hollywood actors where it's a daily thing. It was more party type availability. So
you're drinking on it, help you not doze off too much and shit.
yeah, it was just a combination.
Yeah.
And
That's terrible for your brain. You know that, right?
Cocaine is?
Combining alcohol and cocaine.
Yeah. Well,
it creates a different chemical
okay.
that just fucking eats your brain alive, dude. It's so bad for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good you're off and shit. I don't think you have like long-term effects if you only did it for a couple of years, but that's why whenever you do alcohol,
what does it do
with alcohol with cocaine? That's why it makes the cocaine last longer. Is because it creates a different like chemical in your brain.
Okay.
So I don't know a whole lot about it, but
well, that freaks me out.
I have never done cocaine.
Yeah, it's part of my life. I'm sober now. I don't know. I mean, I guess I've mentioned it before, so I don't really have a problem sharing, I guess. Yeah, and I played college football, so I probably screwed up my head. Did you ever play football?
I was not into like tackling people and getting tackled and shit like that. I played when I was real little. Mm-hmm. Once we got bigger and people could hit hard, I was like, fuck this. I played basketball and golf. That was pretty much it.
Smart. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked basketball a good bit. I wasn't very tall, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah, football is kind of insane when you process
that CTE shit's real, dude.
Yeah.
That kind of turned me off football a little bit, honestly. That's kind of scary.
What are the long-term effects of CTE?
Look at Muhammad Ali, dude.
Yeah.
When Muhammad Ali was like 50, it was not pretty, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like slurred speech. You kind of seem like you're drunk a little bit.
Damn.
It increases your likelihood of getting Alzheimer's or Alzheimer's and shit like that.
Have you got?
Can make you more impulsive. Look at, like some people think that like that's partially why OJ kind of lost his mind is because of CTE.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'll study OJ's brain after he dies. See what the fuck's going on, like Einstein, except for the opposite reason.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you've seen any of the footage from training camps this fall. But the linemen come out and they have these massive airbags on top of their helmets. They look ridiculous. They look like marshmallow heads.
Yeah.
But they're doing that to protect.
I guess if it's just, not interfering with your peripheral vision, it wouldn't affect your performance. But yeah,
they've been minimizing contact in football practice for the last 20 years, significantly.
I know a lot of like basketball players, like LeBron says he won't let his sons play football.
Yeah.
Even though he played football, he was All-American in high school.
Yeah. It's a violent game. Well, yeah, dude. We can call it here. It's like 6:30.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, dude. Sorry, we made like the last quarter of this thing about questions I had for you. I really appreciate you coming on, dude.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me, buddy. I can come on again sometime.
Yeah.
If you want to do a longer form.
Yeah.
Whatever. But I'll be around.
Yeah. Anything you want to shout out? Coble Panetti, comedian coming to Columbia.
Yeah, I mean, I have an Instagram, Coble_Panetti. I have a Twitter, Cobb Panetti with 2 B's. Panetti is Panetti, rhymes with spaghetti, so easy to remember.
Nice.
It's Mexican.
It's Mexican?
No, it's Italian.
It's Italian? Are you Italian?
Partially, yeah.
Partially Italian?
Yeah, Coble's a German name. Panetti's an Italian name.
So you're German and Italian?
Yeah, I also have a Facebook. I just pretty much only follow other comedians on. I don't really use it very much.
Yeah.
But
can you
I might get into selling art a little bit. So
yeah, I wanted to hear about your painting. Can you tell me real quick? We got time about the painting you just put up. It looked really cool.
Yeah, it kind of got inspired by just like when it's pitch black at night, but you're still seeing colors and stuff a little bit. You know what I mean? Those kind of like pre-dream visuals that you get a little bit.
Okay.
And so that I call that one pre-dream. I just posted that on Instagram and stuff like that. If you want me to draw your dog or cat for you, I could do that.
Really?
Yeah, I have a picture of me drawing my friend's cat on Instagram, but I did that one for free. But if someone wants to pay me to, draw something for them, I can do that. But other than that, I don't have anything to shout out, dude.
Nice. Well, dude, thanks for coming on, Coble Panetti. Check him out in Columbia, and yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
All right, thanks, guys. See you next time.